If Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's gonna be a worse fight than fucking Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford. That shit wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason.
Canelo, they want to see it.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo? There are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
If Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's going to be a worse fight than Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford that wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are set for a clash around the Cinco de Mayo weekend, and one of the biggest challenges Crawford has to face aside his Mexican opponent is the overwhelming voice of his naysayers. Crawford isn't strange to being doubted, but more than ever before, boxing professionals are pleading with him not to risk his undefeated record by going into a fight that would only end up in a loss for him. Canelo, they want to see it. Crawford cares about his life and what that fight do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo, what do they do for Canelo? Roy Jones, being one of the most dominant boxers of his era, remains invested in the careers of the new generation of boxing stars. Among them, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez stand out as two of today's best pound-for-pound fighters. The idea of a potential matchup between the two has captured the imagination of boxing fans worldwide. Think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we are stepping in there with guys our weight. Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has expressed his interest in facing Canelo, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the weight disparity between the two poses a significant challenge for the American fighter. Bo Boot had to take over, start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. You don't need to come back down to P7 to meet him. That's crazy. Why? In an interview with Mill City Boxing, Jones Jr. shared his perspective on this hypothetical clash. While praising Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite. I like Terence, but I'm going to lean towards Canelo with his size early, but if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence is going to be a problem. If Terence can deal with the size, he will beat him. The role of striking power. Jones Jr. emphasized the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight. What he would try to make his and get his big bank, and get out his big bank is who Canelo he would have take that gamma. That's what I'm saying. We don't know until we see Terence get hit, cause we haven't seen him get hit with that power. Jones Jr. said that's the deciding factor. If you can change Bud's fight plan, you've got a chance of beating him, but if you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan and you've got problems. This analysis underscores Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can impose his technical boxing skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a chance of pulling off a historic upset. While the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout. Beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight B. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it his go, I'm done. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has been mentioned as a possible opponent. This wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr., though the Hall of Fame fighter and current promoter, trainer and respected analyst Roy Jones Jr. had earlier shared scenarios in which he sees both Terence Crawford and David Benovitz beating Alvarez before going against his former prediction he began with David Benovitz, saying it's a tough fight to call because Benovitz throws a lot of punches. Sometimes power can intervene and make that a different situation, Jones said in an interview with Boxing Scene. Big for Crawford. I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight he's pretty big, so I probably rather see fight C. The problem is Canelo willing to take the risk? I don't really think he will right now because I don't think he feels like he has a reason to. If he can't hurt Ben Aids early in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I don't see him winning that fight. The 2-time 168-pound titleist Ben Aids has been pounding the table for a crack at Alvarez over the last 2 years. Formerly recognized as the best welterweight in the world, Crawford is open to moving up 2 weight classes for the chance at clashing with a Mexican star. Alvarez meanwhile maintains that a win against Crawford would do little for his legacy, even though many are giving Crawford a real chance to score the win. Char will fight Crawford first and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see if come up a fight can. Yes, but not right now. If anybody can do it and pull it off, it's Crawford, so you can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the kind of guy that if someone said they were better than me and if I can get close to your weight, here I come. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care. I wanted to prove that I was pound for pound found the best and to do something historic. That had never been done. That's probably how Bud feels right now. He wants to do something historic to solidify his legacy in boxing. Who doesn't want to see the pound-for-pound best from yesterday fight the pound-for-pound best from today? Who wouldn't want to see that fight? It's a mega fight if he puts the muscle in weight on. How can you doubt him? One thing that's for sure is that he's going to go out there and fight and not just collect a paycheck. He's going to go out there and then try to win the fight, because that's who Bud is. If he carries the weight, it'll be a good fight. He can box just like Floyd Mayweather, and he can also fight. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he can take the punch at that weight, he'll probably win the fight. I was Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he going to be D at 54. You understand? Think that part will go Crawford want a PPB the fight. Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career as a 4-division title holder, said Alvarez should continue his career moving forward at super middleweight. It's definitely best that Alvarez stays at 168. I didn't understand why he went to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol anyway, said Jones. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was at the end of his career. Bivol was in the middle of his. They are two different animals. He got the crusher at the right time. Go back down and dominate where you are at. Don't try to fight another one, because lightning ain't going to strike twice. Also, former 2-weight world champion Andre Ward has voiced his opinion on the potential super fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Like, I can bet the house home it's but because me and him we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude he coming. Bud has been targeting Canelo ever since he put in a career-defining performance last year against welterweight rival Errol Spence Jr. Although the Mexican originally dismissed the fight, he recently admitted he would be prepared to defend his super middleweight titles against the naturally smaller man if the money was right. Speaking on the All the Smoke podcast, Ward, who retired with a perfect record of 32 wins from 32 fights, named the 2 matchups he wants to see most in boxing. I want to see Canelo fighting Terence Crawford or David Benovitz. You got 2 options. You can go somebody in your weight class, or you can try and pick on the smaller guy. Terence Crawford, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude he come in the room, or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball on the potential Crawford-Canelo clash. His money would be on the man who last fought at 3 weight classes lower. I'm not betting against Terence right now, against anybody, not doing it. Talking about the most skilled fighters in the game today, Ward says Crawford is someone you can bet your house on. Somebody I can bet the house on is Bud. Me and him are so much alike in our mentality. He's skillful, yes, but his heart and mind are different. There's not a lot of guys like that out there currently. There's a lot of guys that talk it, but until you get in that real fight, I'm not saying a guy you should beat, I'm saying a guy that is a 50-50 matchup, then we don't really know what you have wrestling anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking like it's just that, like, you got to really hurt that dude to turn him. He's different, he's a dog. That's the stuff that gets me out of my seat. It means that when you need to be that guy, you can be that guy. A fighter who famously refers to Terence Crawford as his big brother. Shakur Stevenson also believes Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez if they ever fought, despite conceding a 14 pounds weight disadvantage to the Mexican superstar. Unlike Charlo, Canelo insists he has no interest in securing a fight with Crawford due to the size factor. However, Stevenson doesn't think it would be a problem for the pound-for-pound king. The former 2E world champion affirms that skills win fights, not size, and believes Bud has the winning formula with his southpaw stance, excellent movement, and solid fundamentals to cause Canelo real headache. Canelo, like I said, been saying is I don't think size when I think skills do. So yeah, I think like being the southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it be hard for Canelo, that hot guard, to walk him down and load up on them big hook. I think BB Canelo when speaking about Crawford's next steps to IFL TV. Stevenson Said Terence Crawford is running things right now. As for who he should face next, I would love to see him go up against Charlo, although Charlo